The majesty of your psychic intellect and made you my puppet.
It's a bullseye! And here's your host, Jim Boyd!
Sorry if I scared you. You'll like this bit.
Yes, indeed, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, indeed. You will like this bit. Anything can happen in the next 2 hours. Dun, 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 dun. Stingray! Stingray! Oh, man, I love that opening. Always freak me out. Always freak me out. Anything can happen in the next half hour. In the next 2 hours. That's what I'll say. Oh, man. I kind of look like one of the, what are the bad guys in Stingray? What are they called? Hang on. Stingray. Let's see what's no, not a fish. Jerry Anderson. Stingray. But what are the name of the bad guys in it? The aquamphibians are where they're set in the 26s. It was a World Aquanaut Security Patrol. WASP! Tritophones and Marina, a mute woman from the undersea. Stingrays eventually bring into contact with various underwater civilizations. Oh, there wasn't one main one? There wasn't one main, like, blah, 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 blah. Well, I remember there was a main one. No? I don't know. Whatever they were called. But, man, I'll do that again. Yeah, I do. Man, I've turned into a Jerry Anderson puppet. That's what happens, right? People say it makes no sense for Captain Jack to morph into the face of Bo over the millennia. Look at this. Look. I'm a freaking 96's Jerry Anderson mold. I am. Oh, you go vote. That's just what happens to you, baby. I am still, and I'm going to be for a long time. It was day 7, day 8 of Lebetkin wedding watch. Oh my God. What's more encompassing than the trans movement? It's your son getting bloody married. Sod in hell. I've been put on WhatsApp groups and I don't like it. I don't like the dinging, right? Ding, ding, ding. I don't like the dinging. Leave me alone. So I don't know how to put it on mute. And it's like, oh, for fuck's sake. Yeah. I always get the vibe. There's one person in this equation, because that's the thing when you're planning a wedding, right? You got to balance the money, and you basically you got to bet one person in the equation who you cannot take your eye off, right? Which actually my son is not. My son is so he is so on the ball, thank God. Because I am so not, right? I am so not. It's like he's making spreadsheets and charts. Okay, we have 3 things, ladies and gentlemen. I want to remind you, we have 3 things that we need to do. We need to do the henna. That's coming up very soon. In fact, I think I have some pictures of that. I'm scared to go on the group. Oh, leave me. Okay, nobody knows I'm here. I'm just looking at menus and shit. Here it is. This is what I want to show you. Here, 1 second. There we go. Share screen. Fine. So this is what a henna looks like. You get this like big like royal chair thing. Why is it not enlarging? Oh, there you go. Where I think the 2 of them sit on, and I have to dress up as something like this, wearing a fez of some kind, which I'm quite happy. I like that. I like the fez, right? I like that. So we're working out the food for it right now. Oh man, because we're Ashkenazi, which is very like Western European, right? We are super Ashkenazi. We're the ones from the Holocaust, right? That's us. The white pasty ones, right? The ones like, can I help you with your taxes? That is. Now, my my daughter-in-law to be is coming from a French Tunisian family. Ahoy! I know I said French. I was very disturbed, but it's okay. She's a lovely girl. Anyway, obviously, maybe she can. Well, she's got the French accent though. It's kind of funny. Anyway, I digress. But that's a very different custom. That's the Eastern. In fact, this whole thing is an Eastern custom. We don't do it in the Ashkenazim, right? So we got we got food worked out for it, and it sounds like it's going to be dire. I don't even know, and I don't care. So that's the easy bit, and we've got to work out guest lists, right? Who we're inviting. Then we got to do the guest list for the wedding itself, which this is a sin, but there are a couple of people I'm really enjoying not inviting. Like, okay, time's moved on. Yeah, goodbye. Right? So there is that. So that's my wife's out now, going with my son and my daughter on to look at 2 more halls tonight. Oy vey. Now, the one I like is in a place called Renana, which is pretty close to us, right? Anyway, and then we got the Sheverbrocker. That's actually the most complex one of the lot, right? Okay, there we go. So this is was it henna? Do we have she's awfully booby, this this young lady. Okay, fine. I thought you put on Moroccan. Oh, he's wearing Moroccan dress. Anyway, so I have no idea what the food's going to be for that. Look, I'm only eating vegetables. It doesn't really matter. I think we're in charge of doing American desserts. I don't know what that means. There you go. That's the sort I think I can dress up in. Yay! I will show you all pictures. Yeah, this is going to be amazing. Yeah, this is a bit of a do, right? Anyway, and then the Sheverbrockers. Oh, Ilano. You may think international politics is bad, right? You may think we're on the brink of nuclear war. You got it easy, mate. The Sheverbrocker. For a week after a wedding, you have these. You have these festive meals for the bride and groom, and they're still treated like a bride and groom, and like everybody sings, hey, right, have fun, right, and this so the idea is because hopefully the bride and groom are virgins on their wedding night, and after one becomes loses one's virginity, they have to separate for 7 days for ritual purity. That's why you have this like late nights, these late night parties, because it makes it easier to go to sleep and not stop each other. Now, I have no idea where my son is on this radar at all, right? No idea whatsoever. Not my business, really. I have to say, totally not my business. Oh my God. Please, I beg you, on behalf of myself and my son and sanity itself, I beg you, my wife, don't make me have a sex talk with my son. I beg you. Please, please, please. Can that not be included in this ongoing nightmare, right? Oh, what a joy. Anyway, oh God, please no. Who would self-destruct first, me or him? Now I got to try and decide whether not to clip this out and put this on the family WhatsApp. Anyway, I digress. We got a lot to talk about, ladies and gentlemen. We haven't got a lot to talk about. A lot of weird things going on. The heat wave, okay? The international nature of this heat wave makes me think this is like, look, I'm always looking at this from a perspective of like, a biblical perspective, right? And so, I can often see, the opening of a new story. And the Lord took the sun out of its sheath, and the earth heated and trembled under its weight. Because I did. But man, I got to about 3:00 this afternoon. I was done. I was done. So I ended up watching that movie, which I've really wanted to see, and finally I found a way of watching it. The Sound of Freedom, which is by far the best movie I've seen in a long time. It's really good. I mean, it's not just like very impactful. It's really good, right? It's really genuinely okay. Most movies I watch at home, I look at my phone a little bit. I don't know, every 20 minutes, half hour, whatever. Whenever I get bored, right? Like everyone, I'm probably going, yes, I'll check it, right? So this movie I didn't. I was just riveted. It is stunning. It's about true story about the child sex trafficking in which you don't want to know about, right? Nobody wants to know about, but man, it's increased like massively. There's been a 10,000 scale increase of child pornography over the last 10 years, probably more recently, I would have thought. Yeah, America's one of the number one consumers of child pornography, right? And there's 85,000 children gone missing from the DHS in America, which let them in to be brave, right? Fuck off. But this movie, whilst harrowing, it's a fantastic movie. It's I don't know when it's playing in England, but oh boy, it is genuinely fantastic. I mean, like I'm so shocked how good it is, because I thought it would just be, earnest, erstwhile, right? No, it did absolutely fantastic, and it is such a litmus test on like who is on the side of light and who is on the side of darkness, where they are on this, right? It's such a litmus test. It's funny, I had a one of my feminist neighbors come in. I have to say, I like my feminist neighbors, I like having I was going to say I like having a different perspective, which I still have. I think a remarkably different perspective, but it's much closer to theirs now than it was a few years ago, right? But I very much appreciate having those. And we had chatting away, and I don't know how we got into the trans thing, and she was like, "Yeah, look, it's this is it, right? I'll show you the thing exactly, right." See, here's what I've worked out. I think the main way educated, intelligent women are manipulated, are captured, right, is by intimating there's a abuse of women going on, like a systemic, like an abuse of women because they're women, right? That's yeah, I think that is the trigger that the CIA uses via social media to control intelligent, educated women, right? Because it works 100% of the time. 100% of the time. So, like, I don't know. I really hope we can have a deeper conversation, because I just want her to drill down on anything she believes, right? Because here's the thing: you just go paper thin, and it falls apart. Right, you find the story isn't what you thought it was, right? Just go paper thin. Like, for example, she believes that underage children are daily being escorted out of state to have abortions because it's illegal to give them abortions. And I don't think that's true. The reason I don't think that's true, it doesn't say. Yeah, how can I put? Look, I've had these conversations about Israel with people a lot of the time, right? And most of the time, people are completely ignorant and completely dependent on a anti-Semitic narrative, right? Which you drill down paper thin, and normally people just get annoyed at you when that happens. They shout at you, right? So I don't want to upset this person, right? Especially because, again, my worldview is so much closer than what it was from what it used to be, right? So, but like if somebody comes and tells me some Israeli atrocity of this, or which I don't know the specific details of, I don't believe it's true. That's my default. I don't believe it's true because it never fucking is, right? It never is. It never is. And so the textbook case of this, right, which is, I think. Here's what I think happened. I think this is what happened, and then people in their minds said, "Oh, this was going to happen all the time," right? there was a case in Indiana where a 10-year-old, terrible, right, needed an abortion. So this would have been completely legal under the new abortion rules in Indiana. Like, no, obviously she's a 10-year-old, right? And it's a police investigation. Like, it's like what happened, right? This sounds like child abuse, right? So, but to make a point, right? To make a political point, she slept this poor kid over state lines to do the abortion in another state, pretending that she had no other option. But she was lying, all right? She was lying. And this story was used to manipulate. So here, the trans thing here, let me show you this file. Where is this? So I think the two of us will look at these things very differently, right? Where is it?
One day she came home and the teacher had told her that God made you a boy. And she crawled up in my lap and she said, how can I get God to change his mind?
Okay, darling, here's what's going on, right? With the world in general, right? I do see it with the woker side of the interwebs, the more bonky twatters, which are getting way more bonkier, right? I mean, that guy, remember the guy, Stephen, what's his name? I like cut off all contact because he was like losing it, like big time, right? I was like, so he kept emailing me. I said, look, dude, I'm just putting it I'm setting this to go into the garbage now. You can keep on emailing, but I'm never going to see him. Don't worry, right? So I'm like, I thought that was definitively goodbye, right? And he will, and then he started covering my videos. I'm like, dude, he said, I want to know about your challenge. I'm like, no fucking idea what he's talking about, right? But he's getting much bonkers, right? Much more bonkers. Right. So then I heard that he posted about me in his timeline. I was like, I don't really give a shit, right? But there's all this weird shit there. I don't want to get involved, right? But the basic problem is, the reason why we have the world cracking up is because people are having to come to terms with reality, and they don't like reality, right? They don't like reality. They don't want reality to be reality, right? They want to be free, essentially. And that's really my now, of course, obviously YouTube says that trans women are women. I can't argue with that. But like, yeah, I think that's where and this is all couched in kindness. Right. Again, I think it's one of the worst things that's happened in the world. If this has happened, it's one of the worst things that could possibly have happened. That we have normalized and incentivized a form of mental illness. Right. So people are taking on this form of mental illness. Body dysgraphia, because it's you get so much. There's so much designed to make you think it's a good option, right? I have to tell you, also, listen, you want to know how wacky and weird I am? And this is something, I'm like, heading towards my 60s, right? No, not really. I'm just in my mid-50s. And with that perspective, I would say the idea of having sex outside of marriage, and specifically marriage, being a thing that's going to work out good for you, is not true. It really. And I didn't say marriage instead of a committed relationship. I guess committed relationship. But the trouble is, you can't really tell somebody at the time is committed unless they're going to put a ring on the finger, right? I mean, at least back in the old days. I don't know. No fault divorce was not a good thing. But anyway, the point is this: the mental health crisis is simply people having to come to reality and they don't want to, right? I think maybe they have this in the last days of Rome as well.
And just cried. So I went out and bought her dresses.
Yeah, no, don't do that. I think that was a bad idea. I think you should really speak to a, traditional doctor, traditional psychiatrist, maybe one who, follows science, one of those ones, not one of the flat earthy ones, right? Yeah, how about that? And don't get me wrong. Do you think that she's enjoying the positive attention of having a trans kid? I think so.
Bought her dresses.
11-year-old Flower Nichols and her mom, Jenny Lynn, are among those scrambling from their home state of Indiana to a doctor at the University of Chicago so she can keep the puberty blocker she has been on for the last 2 years.
Yeah, like, what's the effect of that? I'm sorry. This is some kind of like, Munchausen by proxy. I'm not. It's kind of like, I don't know what it is, right? I don't think she thinks she's harming her child, right? I don't think she's intentionally harming a child. Maybe she. I don't know, but I don't think this is good for anybody involved, right? Of course, YouTube will tell you that trans women are women. This is stunning and brave and beautiful.
This medicine is like the bridge between me saying that I'm trans and being trans.
It's
yeah, exactly. I don't know why we started listening to children about their mental diagnoses, right? I'm not sure that's a good idea. Maybe, we should have not unhinged professionals, right? And I say not unhinged, ones that understand that, generally speaking, if you have a penis, you're a boy, right? And that's not a weird, rude, or disastrous comment to make.
really hard to explain to an 11-year-old kid that whereas we used to just, pop to the hospital once every 3 months, that now we have to travel out of state.
The family.
Okay. How about explaining to the kid that the desistance rates are 92%. Well, I would say like this. And obviously the kid doesn't have a father. I mean, you can see that right there, which is the issue, right? Right. It's there's a lot of unhealthy behavior, I believe, going on there. I think he's trying to please his mother. I think there's just a lot of, I just think that, to go, there's nothing to look at. This is normal. I think is cruel, right? I think it's also uncomfortable, which is why we don't want to do it. And we would much rather say live and let live, but these are fucking kids. Look, I understand there are some transgender kids. I get that. I say people like to cross-dress. I understand that. You've all got by, right? For 2015 years, right? You all got by. One second. Yeah, 1 second. I just reply to this. I totally forgot. Doink. Let me just check that, respell that. Totally forgot. But sure. Exclamation point. Doink. Here we go. Wallop. And then we go over here and we go, doink. It's gone down. There you go, baby. Just dealing with a bit of correspondence. Oh, while I'm dealing with correspondence, what's my phone? There we go. I got to send something to Keith, right? I thought about this just before I was coming on. This is an important side thing because we're going to need to talk about this as well. Wrong person. Where is it? This is Keith Olsen, British Isles. This is my Star Trek guru to go, the guy I go to, right? I would bounce my Star Trek ideas off him. Keith, how are you? I hope you're well. I hope you're still dashing, right? You're awfully dashing. I would like to see you do a Dan Dare, right? I think you've got that right chin. An older Dan Dare. I think it'll be great as Dan Dare, actually, because you can do the voice and you can slick the hair. I think you'll be good as a Dan Dare. Anyway, I digress. I finally worked out what my my one-line review is for this episode of Star Trek, right? I finally worked out what it is about it. This is a bog standard female orientated, when that's the audience, rom-com drama. Rom-com drama, heavier on, about less, not so dramatic, more comedy, wearing a Star Trek skin, a bad Star Trek skin, because it had bore no relation to Star Trek. I mean, really, what about those strong Vulcan emotions, right? So much stronger than humans, and then it gets human emotions. It's like, no, this is better. I mean, I don't bloody know. Anyway, I'm doing a live stream right now. There's a note to myself and to the audience, so let them know what's happening. But there you go. It's my one-line review. Doink. There you go. Done. See? Multitasking, baby. That's what you got to do. Multitasking. So anyway, I digress. Yeah. I don't think this is good news. Let's see how much more this cringe.
He needed to find care outside of Indiana after Republican Governor Eric Holcomb signed a law in April banning transgender minors from accessing puberty blockers, hormone therapies, and surgical procedures.
Yeah, good for him. I mean, I'm sorry. I agree with this position, but they don't YouTube. Obviously, this is comedy. This is parody. Parody. Like a parrot. Parody.
Procedures. In June, a federal judge blocked parts of that law from taking effect July 1st.
Without getting this medication,
I might have to face reality.
I will go through the wrong puberty.
Okay, again, look, I'm sorry you're scared of puberty. Every fucker is. 1. 2, you're a fucking kid. Why am I going to listen to you? Good God. Should I listen to Dobbin, the Wonder Horse, as well? What the fuck has it got to do? You're a fucking kid, moron. Yo, no, you can't chemically castrate yourself. Oh, really? Really? But I want to. No, you can't. I agree with the governor that you shouldn't be allowed to chemically castrate yourself. You want to foof around in dresses with long hair. You do that, right? It's going to make your mummy happy, right? That's certainly what's going down there. But this is just bad codependency, and the fact they're making if this kid is really this is talking like a 5-year-old. If he really is like that, then there's something else going on. He might just be spooked by the camera. I don't know, but nothing about this is nothing to see here. Keep moving. Let's just take this on face value. How far down do I have to drill? Like half an inch. Like any question, it kind of starts falling apart. Right? I mean, what's he going to say? I think I need my kidney out. Really? Yeah. I'm a doctor today. Really? If I don't have the kidney out, I will affirm myself as a doctor. It's very scary. I will affirm myself as a doctor. It's very scary. Really, darling. Oh, Dad, can I cut my cock and balls off? No! You're gonna want that. Oh, don't melt your bollocks, darling. Oh, you're really gonna want them. Let's see what else. What are the pearls of wisdom?
Therefore, making permanent changes to me.
No, these are not changes. These are called evolution, natural development. Yes, nobody likes change and moving on. I'm sorry your dad isn't there. Right? Thank God you got a governor who's trying to protect you.
I do not want.
But
no, I don't want it. Fuck you. Do you want to go to school? No, nobody does. Fuck off. You do it. Oh, I mean, the main point of school is to learn monotony and obedience and repetition. But that being said, we all fucking do it.
on this road trip, a silver lining. Instead of exclusion, Mom Jenny Lynn is doing what she can to inspire wonder in her child.
And trying to make that a good experience for
on
her.
the TV and being so stunning and brave and wonderful.
We came up and...
How about this? Why don't you both go on diet? That'd be good. That would show us some.
We saw a museum.
Jenny Lynn says she's just trying to turn this negative into a positive.
Again, if this kid is 11, what the fuck? Okay? This kid is very developmentally stunted if this kid's 11. Right? I've had lots of kids. This is like 5-year-olds.
She's just trying to turn this negative into a positive.
Yeah. So anyway, my feminist neighbor will see this completely opposite. So I invite her on the channel. I hope she comes on, right? Although, I don't know. You don't want to crush somebody's worldview, especially somebody you like. In public, right? That's the thing. I'm doing work for this charity right now called what's it called again? Loving World, right? They came up with this incredible concept, this program that they've tested in a bunch of places, and it just makes everybody much more happy and able to get along and be okay with each other's differences, right? lovingworld.com. It's in a few countries. It's Tragic story. Oh my God, this is a tragic story. Then we'll get to the chat. It's late already. Tragic story. The guy developed it. One of the most wonderful people. I'm not. Everybody always says this, but it's true. This guy was just a exploding ball of love for the entire world, for his fellow man. He was just filled with love for like he wanted to hug everything, and not in a creepy way, but like. And it was also like very smart and very driven, right? And so he was always trying to come up with ways of making the world better, right? And so he came up with this system, and he spent years on it, right? Years and years, and it was just getting better, right? And I wish he had called me, because they couldn't really afford a good website. I was like, I would have done it for free, mate. Right? It would be an honor, and it is, as I'm taking it. So anyway, hashtag died suddenly about 6 months ago. Tragic. Like tragic beyond tragic beyond tragic. I was so shocked, right? Because he's about 10 years older than me, maybe 15. I met him when I was first becoming religious, right? I went to I was in Jerusalem in the old city, which is kind of cool. And then every Sabbath, you would either eat in the yeshiva, the religious ceremony, or you'll go out to people. I didn't realize I was supposed to bring a gift, right? I only found that out when I got married, right? When first time I went out with when I was dating my wife, she said, "Do you want to bring the gift or shall I?" I'm like, why don't you? Right? Because what we're talking about, a bunch of flowers or a car? I don't know, right? I didn't know anyway. Anyway. So this is one of the people that I would always go to, right? I consider myself the gift. I was a very entertaining guest, right? I actually, people did fight on me, which wasn't good for my ego, I have to tell you. Anyway. So that's what I am. His wife made the most divine bread for challah. Oh my God, it's so good. It's so good, right? It's so good. Anyway, tragically, hashtag 6 months ago, right? And then a mutual a friend of ours got in contact and said his widow, again, who I love dearly, just didn't know what to do with all the web stuff, right? So absolutely, I'll take it on. First thing that happened though, I just couldn't help. It was ridiculous. This guy she wanted an email redirect. I'm like, no problem. I got the Google login. I got GoDaddy. I got blah, 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 like no problem. Nothing, right? No one can find this email address. It's the weirdest thing. So I'm like, I look at Wix. I hate Wix. But nowhere. I had no idea what to do. So eventually, had another tech guy came in and said, I can't find it either. So they recreated the email. Okay, I guess that works. It's just weird, right? It was just anyway, but now thankfully I'm able to be a bit more service. Anyway, lovingworld.com. It's a wonderful thing, right? I am very proud and honored to be part of that. Fine, let's pull up the. Oh man! Every time I have different windows open, it's every time I see the hashtag TMF what lady, right? That mother effer isn't real, lady. I'm like, she's hot. Banished. No one's seen her. Banished. I don't know what's going on there. Is it again? This like bizarre weather. Is it in it like what like again? Is this the beginning chapter of some biblical takedown? Which as you know, I've been expecting for quite some time. For me, it's late. Here, let me pull out some eye candy. Dun, 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 dun. Think. Ding, 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 ding. I'll put that open one too. Ding, ding. Have you seen Mission Impossible yet? What do you think? Yeah, a bit meh. That's why it's not doing well, right? That's why it's not. It's got to be a great movie, right? It's not bad, but it's not like. They shot themselves in the foot making this a 2-part movie. The only 2-part movie that has ever really worked is Back to the Future 2 and 3, when I was like, 3 months between the release dates? Here, let's have a look. Back to the Future 2. And then they released Back to the Future 2 on video right before the a week before Back to the Future 3 came out. I just loved that. That was just smart. So 2 was released in November. So when was 3 released? Hang on. Man, maybe we got it at a different time in England. I don't know. I thought it was released way after that. Well, where's the link to part 3? There is no link to part 3. I got to do another search. Ah, he tusks me. So that was November. I really thought November, was it 22nd? Part 3. And this was May. Oh, so November, was it? So November, was December, January, February, March, April, May. 6 months. That sounds, I think that might, more than that, you're stretching it, right? But that worked out very well, right? That was really designed for it. But you only got half a movie, essentially, right, in terms of plot, and you want that type plotting. Hey, I'm just trying to find out which pervy. Oh, there we go. Doink. Share screen. Dun, 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 dun. I like the idea of Keith Ells as Dan Dare, like an aging Dan Dare. I think that'll be really cool, right? I do think that'll be really cool. I wish I could. It'll be great to do that on a green screen, right, man? Okay, I don't know, but no, I think that should be doable. I would love to. I think Keith as an old Dan Dare will be really good. What are we up to? Well, yeah, I was doing the chat. There we go. Darren M is here. How you doing, Darren M? Thank you for joining us. Oh, yeah, I was going to look at Rumble. Hello, Rumble. How you doing? Oh, I'm doing quite well. Nobody in the chat, well, apart from Darren M there as well. He gets about a bit, darling. He gets about. He likes it up him. That's all I can tell you. No, we don't like it up. They don't like it up him. Jonathan Cox is here. How you doing, Jonathan Cox? Not bad for you, Steve. What did you have for lunch? We have like a carvery for English, like turkey, Yorkshire pudding, gravy, potatoes, peas. That'd be nice. Or did you go for a bit more of a ploughman's lunch, or maybe just another bit of pub grub? Tell us all, Jonathan Cox. I want to know if you're not asleep already. That might be. If you're not asleep after lunch. The Soda Rangers is hi ho, it's off to work. Oh fuck me, this is insane. We looked at this on Friday, but like the whole world went, who did you get what? I mean, it's like if any Disney investor should just run like fuck away from that obviously mismanaged company. Like, are you out of your mind? You got Black Snow White and the 7 hipsters. Nobody likes fucking hipsters. Oh, hipsters are the worst. Oh, God help us. It's a weird world where the X-rated version of Snow White is more wholesome and successful than Disney. I bet you it fucking is. I mean, not I've seen the porn version of Snow White, but I bet you it is. And more authentic. That I believe. Do you remember when they, what was it, Captain Marvel? Or one of them. And they had, I remember this thing on Twitter about having more screen accurate costumes than the porn version, right? Was it Justice League? I remember the director. I didn't realize those. I mean, obviously I knew they were directing porn movies, but I didn't realize that it had like a vision, right? What's his name? Axel Braun, which I thought was a great name. Like Axel. That sounds like an actor. Axel Braun, right? So he was on Twitter and said, well, yeah, because we care. And I just made me laugh so much. That was so funny. Well, that was the time I pissed myself laughing. It was wonderful, right? Oh, and it was true, right? That was it was true. So yeah, I bet the porn version of Snow White is more authentic, and that's including the 7 Rules Hi Ho scene, which was very messy. Well, darling, you earned your money. You earned your money, right? I was thinking of photoshopping on a bit more cleavage, and I thought, fair. I think we're doing good. I think we're doing very good. The ODS Studies is there. How you doing? I just missed PD Rich. How you doing, PD Rich? Thank you for joining us. I'd rather see Snow White on the thumbnail than what we're getting. Yeah, absolutely. Jonathan Cox says, Stingray, Titan and X20. Tritons. Thank you, Jonathan Cox. Yes. Oh, me. That was yeah. One second. There you go. Look. Oh, this is the voice of the Triton. Right? I asked. Look at that. What's it? What's his name? Jaren's son. Just hire me. Don't buy a puppet. See? You're welcome, darling. You're welcome. You put the check in the mail. Marine for a Stingray was nice, but always treated like a puppet. Oh, I bet you like to be tied up. World Anal Sex Patrol. Yes, no, it was the World. Oh, what did it? Aqua. Now I got to look back at it. What the hell? I can't have it be World Anal Sex Patrol, right? I mean, I could, but I'm not going to do that. Here it comes. Here comes the World Anal Sex Patrol. World Aquanaut Security Patrol. Of course, it will be the World Anal Sex Patrol if Rusty Davis was remaking it, and be like, I don't know why people are getting so upset. Oh, fuck off, Russell. You know why? I'll tell you. Look, do you want to see why people are fucked off with you? I'll show you why. Right? Fuck off. Just fuck off with it. Oh, fuck off. Enough already. Yes, I understand. You're gay. Oh. And you have pride for being gay. Good for you. Great. I hope you love, good hard fucking up your ass. I hope you like it. It's great. I don't mind. Could you keep it to yourself? Just for a minute. Just for a no. Okay. Okay then. Man. There is legend of John Nathan Turner having lots of sex parties up at Brighton. I don't know if I believe that or not. Maybe it seems like the sort of person who would be doing that, right? I can imagine that. That would still seem more wholesome than what Russell's doing right now. Oh, Jinx Monsoon. Oh God, yes, I hate. What's over there's a nightmare. There's nightmares, baby. Nightmares. Blimey, I'm really behind. I think it's about aquamphibians. No, I think it's the tritons. Fine. Paul Tozen. I think I said hello. I'll say hello again. I might be wrong. As Ben Shapiro once tweeted, facts don't care about your feelings. Oh, yeah, I know. I reckon I've just overdone it a bit. Okay, whoa, take it easy. We're getting sick of the Hitler-esque rants. The SDFO or Nunu who is screwed. Russell, mate, we need nothing looks good, right? This looks like you panicking and while you're on this weird sex bend thing. I don't know what's up with you, mate. It all seems strange, right? None of this seems like, that's totally normal. We're up to. I was just about to read out P.D. Richards' advice to the young trans woman there. Thankfully, I didn't. Not out here. It's not bothering with it. See, I liked the first season of Stranger World because it was its own thing, right? I really did like that. Am I the only one who enjoyed puberty? Well, I enjoyed, the ability, the new magic abilities puberty gave me, right? Yes, I like, and I still like that new magic abilities now, right? I find it hard to listen to My Ding-a-ling without a tear coming to my eye. I can't really remember light for me going through that ordeal. Okay, we're on a big puberty thing. Okay, Gareth Morgan is here. Where are we up to? Certainly most of us in Rabbi chat are. Yeah, as I was telling again, I was telling my friend, my lesbian friend, my feminist friend, right? Maybe she's lesbian too. I don't know. Don't think she is. I don't think she is. They're like, yeah, I mean, minimally 30% of my chat are gay. Like, minimally. I mean, like, it's... Well, yeah, I know. She's a tea, not black. I know. I'll take the piss. Okay, I'll just take the piss. It's been wrestlers, and his name's Axel Broad. I know. I love that name. Oh, but his tweet just was so funny. It was so funny. I really pissed myself laughing. Where are we up to? Gareth Morgan. Saying autism and being gay aren't related. I never thought they were. I think that kid has something going on, though. Man. Now they're trying to combining with Barbie and Dr. IRs. Have you seen that? I still think Barbie might be the biggest movie of the summer, right? I think it's going to beat Mission Impossible. As long as it's not shit. As long as it's not woke shit like they're saying it's going to be. Right? If girls watch it and they go, this is great, it is going to be huge. That's why Mission Impossible wasn't huge, because people watched it and then go, this is great. It did very well, but it's really weird. Mark Gatiss and India Vanarama are in it playing Americans, right? Yeah, it's really strange for someone. And your boy Zach had this thing where they take a speech and they break it up between people so you get every demographic represented. Darren M says no pink TARDIS. Somebody commented, it's just promotion for Barbie. No, it's not. Don't scream at me about your relentless weirdo, worldview, right? Don't scream it at me and stop, right? And expect me to like pretend you haven't. I do not know. I don't know. So what do I want to look at? We'll look at a couple of video things, then we'll get to geeky stuff. Hang on. I got so many video things actually. Okay, this is a great place to start. Tucker Carlson, now he's no longer on Fox News, is Olsen, right? So there was this big conference over the weekend. I think it's sponsored by Blaze. Blaze became way more relevant than Fox in a blink of an eye this weekend, right? So this is Tucker able to say what he wants. This is hilarious.
I don't know what, you know what, the thing about that story, it's just a mystery to me. No.
And the police, yeah, if you don't know, they found a dime bag of cocaine in the White House. Well, there's security everywhere, security footage everywhere, cameras everywhere, right? And they said, we don't know who it is. And then when the reporters were pressed, the FBI said it might be a reporter's, right? Then they were like, oh, fuck me. All right. Mark Sears here. How you doing?
No one was more shocked than I was. Are you serious? In the Biden White House, somebody left an 8-ball of cocaine in a public. I said to my wife, it's just not in character. You know? I just don't believe it. It's clearly a setup. I went right back to Marion Barry and I was like, somebody set you up. I'm serious.
I like him. I like post-Fox Tucker. He's great.
It was, you know what I mean? It was like, I'll stop with it. That was my favorite story of all time. Because it just explains all the behavior.
It does, doesn't it? Right? It totally does.
It really does. I mean, I worked in the media business for my whole life, so I know what the behavior looks like. But it's like crazed and grandiose. I've got a plan. You're not going to believe it. It's unbelievable. It's going to totally work. What we're going to do is we're going to totally rearrange everything. Okay? We've been doing things.
He just impersonate. He did. He just impersonated Hunter on the White House balcony on 4th of July, snorting coke.
Rearrange everything, okay? We've been doing things a certain way. What we're going to do is we're going to totally rearrange everything, okay? We've been doing things a certain way for a long time. okay? And it's worked, but I've got a better plan.
I mean, like, the best thing in the world happened when Fox fired him, right? It was the best thing in the world. Good for him. I'm sure he makes a lot more money now.
And that's their entire approach.
That is true. That is true. Doink. Anyway, anything else good to look at? We'll get to that when we do. No, we're not. We'll save that for another night. Okay. Yeah, this is the last thing before we get to geeky stuff, right? Mike Pence just had his career destroyed, right? It's unbelievable.
Biden administration has been...
Okay, fine. So basically he's just saying he needs to send more tanks to Ukraine quicker. To which Tucker Carlson...
Ukrainians don't have enough American tanks.
Yeah.
F-16 pilots, but now they're saying maybe January we'll let somebody transfer some jets.
I'm sorry, Mr. Vice President, have you, I know you're running for president. You are distressed that the Ukrainians don't have enough American tanks. Every city in the United States has become much worse.
Oh, right, Tucker not on the Fox Business Better. This reiterates that.
For the past 3 years. Yeah. Drive around. There's not one city that's gotten better in the United States. And it's visible. Our economy has degraded. The suicide rate has jumped. Public filth and disorder and crime have exponentially increased. Right. And yet your concern is that the Ukrainians, a country most people can't find on a map, who've received tens of billions of U.S. tax dollars, don't have enough tanks. Right. I think it's a fair question to ask, like, where's the concern for the United States in that?
Well, it's not my concern.
Oh, man. that's just suicide, right? Like, really? He did, like... And it doesn't. I mean, I don't think he really meant that, right? Because otherwise, he's a moron, right? I mean, like a super moron. But I don't think he meant that. And I don't get me wrong. I think Mike Pence did the wrong thing on January 6th. I think accepting the ballots was a mistake, and I think he is to blame for much of the misery we see in the world today, right? Yeah, and I honestly, he's always struck me as a reasonably straight up dude for a politician, right? Not looking good. I mean, this is just being, again, I believe in God, right? And that's why I think the DeSantis campaign is falling apart as well. It's just the will of God. Like, Trump's going to be the guy. It's just that's what's going to happen, you know. And there's this. There's a verse, right, in Psalms, right, which you say every day. The verse is that God opens up his hand, right, and gives you whatever you truly, truly desire, right? This Ratzon, this like primal need, right? That's the art of getting laid, right? Yeah, you walk in, you're on the pool, right? It's doesn't matter what you look like, right? It's that drive to get laid that will feign the confidence you need, right? Anyway, yeah, look, this was just career suicide. He just said, I don't give a shit about America. I don't think he meant it, but he's been memed to death. It's done. It's over, baby. He's toast. But you know what? Here's what I think. America needs to reintroduce a new layer of government, right, on top of the already massive government. And that layer would be royalty itself. I think they need to reinvent a monarchy. I think make Donald Trump king. I think that would be good. And then just have him have the executive authority. Fire, you're fired, right? Just do all this, and then get everything, clean out all the mess, right? And then you have something like balance up. So that's what you get with royalty, baby. That's what you get with royalty. Now, you know, I like to elevate this channel as well. I do. And so I go hunting for royal blood. King Charles, no, sorry, he was too busy slamming his dick in a drawer in a strange island, you know, that you have to be a billionaire to get into. Don't ask about it. Everything was fine, my lord. So he was busy, but finally, after going through the phone book, under royalty, the 16,027,034 person to the throne is, of course, Birmingham's King of the Geeks. It's Dan Hadley. How are you doing?
Hey! Yeah, one day.
Thank you. Sorry.
Yes, one day I'll get my turn in the throne. I'll get. Hello, mate. How are you? How are things?
I'm gonna have to wear a turban and sit on a throne soon. Did you not know about this?
Is this about what I was about to congratulate you on? Because even though I've spoken to you, I've not really spoken to you. So
right.
Congratulations to you and your kith and kin and your son and your future daughter-in-law.
Yeah, thank you. It's a nightmare. It's like it's a nightmare. It's the worst thing ever. God help me. Like I don't know. I might take another couple of years of Jodie rather than this. It's like, how many days has it been? Oh, so what? In about a week's time here.
Yes.
In about a couple.
You had to go. You were going to meet the in-laws a couple of days ago. When I last.
Oh God! That went on till midnight. I fell asleep because then we had to discuss money. I was like, oh God, my brain doesn't want to deal with this at all. Right? And God, there's one person in the equation that you got to watch like a hawk. Right? Other than that, we're all okay. But here, so yeah, this is the engagement party. This is going to be on August 2nd. There's somebody comes in, you get a big like weird. This is an Eastern custom. I'm part of the Western European Jews, right? I'm like, can I help you with the attack? She's like Eastern, so Tunisian. So you have this thing called a henna. I get to dress up in like this sort of outfit. And I don't even bloody know what they're doing.
So you get to wear a sort of, it's a mixture between a turban and a fez, isn't it?
Yeah, but yeah, exactly. I probably won't be doing that. No, none of that. Leave me alone. I'm sitting down. Although, I am my weight loss is going awfully well. I had to abandon my my Sabbath trousers. They got too ridiculously big, right? I couldn't. So then I have like an older pair I put on. Like 10 inches, 10 inches less. Fit like a charm. So there you go. I've lost 10 inches so far. Which let me tell you. Normally, I would say I don't want a 10-inch reduction. That's awfully precious to me, right? But what can I do?
Keep on keeping on, buddy. I'm glad to hear you're still hard at it.
Yes, I am. She cried. Hey, what's up with you? Do you have anything going on your channel?
What's up with me? I've got nothing going on my channel. But I was live streaming. Now, anybody who was there on Thursday for Type 40 Live, I'm sorry. Nearly 3.5 hours.
It was! I couldn't. Oh my God! I went to start listening to it. I was like, oh, what got you called up so long? It's me, really. I decided, I scrapped a few items because obviously the Blu-ray news dropped and we could not talk about that. Oh, yeah. That was good Doctor Who news.
Yes, we got stuck into that for quite a long time. But
I'm very excited about the new effects on Kinder, on Snake Dance.
On Snake Dance, yes, so am I.
Yeah, it really needs it. I'm really excited about it. And the extra with Janet Fielding and Martin Clunes sounds awesome. That's just all the extras sound great. I'm really up for all of them.
I mean, the entire trailer was full of great moments, but when the breakdown of extras, it was just fabulous. But we still, because I'd got my guest on and he'd come on specifically to have a specific discussion. I had to. Yes. So this, you said, what have you got coming up?
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to whip it out too quick, darling.
Well, this, because I haven't got any artwork to show you yet on Tuesday. It's a big deal for us at Type 40 because we introduce you guys to our brand new panelist on the podcast who's joined us for a series of reviews. We've already recorded a few. They're not out yet, and I can't wait for you to meet him. We're talking about a Third Doctor story in the episode that's dropping this Tuesday at 8 p.m. here on the channel. I'll leave you to guess which Third Doctor story it is.
Okay, could you give us a hint on what kind of Third Doctor era?
It is later in the Third Doctor's era.
Okay, Sarah Jane Smith's story. My guess is Invasion of the Dinosaurs.
We've got to. You've.
I'm now going to tune in to find out. I hope I didn't get it right.
You have. So yes, so we've got that coming up.
Get out of here. That shit.
It's not. It is not Invasion of the Dinosaurs.
Oh, there you go. Thank God.
But our new panelist, you might have heard him before, but you won't have heard him, I think, speaking quite like this. And we had such a good time with him, and he's probably one of the biggest Doctor Who fans that I've ever come across.
Wow.
So it's in fact, I think I've said to him that the last time I spoke to somebody who had this much knowledge about Doctor Who and this much passion for it was the late Ian McLaughlin. And obviously Ian died about a year ago now, and we would have recorded more stuff with him. But in fact, I'll tell you now. I'm going to reveal this on social media tomorrow. But this is our brand new voice. Have I got a picture of him? It's our brand new voice. Where? It says Hadley, the best laid plans. Okay, I've got it here. Yeah. Have I? Yes, this better be bloody worth it, Hadley, for all this build-up. So this is our brand new voice on Type 40, part of the team going forward. It's a gentleman you might have heard if you listen to Big Finish Audio. It's the mighty
Get out
Mr.
of here!
Stephen, Mr.
That's
Stephen
really
Noonan.
exciting. That's crazily exciting. Okay, I am so into this. Oh my gosh. I love his first Doctor. His first Doctor is so freaking accurate. Although he's got a slightly different accent, right? He's got a more like northern accent, but his inflection they're so thought out, right? This is one of the ranges that still has me at Big Finish, right? Which the few and far between now. Right, but his first Doctor is stunning. I love his first Doctor.
Well, you're going to like him even more. This guy is seriously one of the biggest Doctor Who fans I've ever spoken to. Wow. The wealth of knowledge, the good humour, and we have such a blast talking about this particular story. So that's going to be dropping at 8 p.m. this coming Tuesday. We've recorded 2. We've got several others picked out, and we're having a blast so far. So welcome to Type 40, Stephen.
Okay, please convey for me how excited I am that he's on your panel, right? It's such a great addition, right? I don't know how you pulled it off, but good for you. I'm really excited. I'm telling you, that's content I'm excited to listen to. I'm not joking. I really am. I think it's going to be great.
I'm glad you said that because you do get mentioned in this show.
I do. Oh, okay.
So you're gonna like it. But more to the point, I think it's the best review that we've ever recorded because, particularly of the old stuff, simply because of the amount of stuff that Stephen knows, where Simon comes from with it as well. Simon's also on the show, so it's going to be a blast. You're not going to want to miss it. And the one we recorded the other day, that's probably even better. But I can't tell you about that either. But we're having a blast on those shows. And I've taken a few days off because of that 3.5-hour live stream. But I've had other things I'm getting along with. So but I'm still really excited about season 20 on Blu-ray, mate.
Oh yeah, that sounds fantastic. It's everything else around Doctor Who. That time it's like, just stop, stop already. Pink fucking TARDIS, leave me alone. Just stop.
Oh, I'm so glad that you feel the same way as I do about it. I try not to be all miserable about things, and you work in marketing.
How much more leeway can we give them?
Exactly. I think we've given them enough. And so when that popped up, all those publicity pictures of the pink TARDIS by Tower Bridge, I did feel that kind of, oh God, just leave me alone with this stuff. I'm just done with it.
Yeah, just like, and then they put it on their social media today.
Oh, it's back on. Oh God.
Just stop. Oh, have you seen Mission Impossible?
No, I won't be going to the cinema to see it because, as I say, I haven't seen the 6th one yet, so I'm not going to go to this.
Honestly, I would say. I would say it's the weakest of the Mission Impossible movies, and they shot themselves in the foot with it because it's very ambitious, very slick. I really wanted to succeed. It's not doing bad. It's not hitting what they wanted to, but it's not good enough. Because there's 2 things you get in Mission Impossible: incredible action, incredibly well choreographed action sequences, and a very, very, very tight spy plot. Right, much tighter than James Bond. Right. So because this is broken into 2 parts, you don't get the tight plot. You just get like extended action sequence after extended action sequence after extended action sequence, which all looks stunning and fantastic, but it doesn't really go any. It just stops in the middle, right? And it's overlong, right? For my money, it's probably like a 3-hour movie that's stretching out into 5 hours.
This is dangerous territory to do this because we've got an established franchise that's probably more popular now than it ever has been, even though it's been running now for nearly 30 years.
It's all from that last movie. In fact, don't bother what you did. That last movie was superb, right? It was just one of the greatest cinematic experiences.
My issue with it now is now that they've done this with one story spread across 2 movies. What are they going to do to top that? Once the precedent has been set,
this is clearly Tom Cruise's swan song, right? He looks 60. He can still do it, but he looks 60. He looks tired, and he look this. Part 2 is his. I think is his swan song. He'll be in as like as
the boss in the future ones, maybe
exactly, right or something like that. But he's in like the older John Wayne territory now, and he knows it. He's smart enough to know it.
Because he has said last week that he wants to go on making those movies until he's in his 80s, but that doesn't necessarily mean that he'll be the guy throwing himself out of airplanes.
Yeah, I mean,
shot in the arse.
Very good shape. And again, his pure love, right, just bursts through this movie, right? His pure love for cinema. He's single-handedly trying to put back together the movie industry. All right, and look, I'll still go see number 2, obviously. But because it wasn't a great movie, it's not doing the gangbusters they could do. Barbie, however, every girl wants to go and see it. Literally every girl wants to go and see it. And as long as it's not shit and the woke lecturing isn't noticeable, it will do better than anything else, in my opinion.
I think this is why I'm cutting Barbie itself. I mean, regardless of the time with Doctor Who, I genuinely find that nauseating. It's a 60th anniversary. Stop dicking around with stuff like that and give us something to really be proud of now. The bunting should be up. But Barbie itself, I kind of respect that, and I see what they're doing with it, and I think I know who it's for, so I'm perfectly fine with it. It's not necessarily for me. I probably will see it at some point because it looks culturally... That looks like it's an important film that's going to come out this year. Not politically important, but important. It's a big brand stepping into a new medium. I like it.
Although I tell you, the best movie I've seen in at least this year, and this is superb. I'm not sure when it's out in England. It's The Sound of Freedom. Have you heard of it?
I've heard of it. This is the child trafficking.
Yeah.
Film.
So this is something that you don't want to ever think about or ever know about, and they make it tough to watch in the opening. They get you into it, but the quality of a movie, man. I watched it at home today. It was too hot. We got to 3:00. I'm like, I give up. I'm watching a movie. Leave me alone. Right? It's so I had a copy of it, thankfully, to watch, and. Normally, when I watch something at home, I will look at my phone every half hour. It depends how good the movie is. Every 20 minutes, right? Something like that, right? So I didn't look at my phone at all. I was riveted. So a great performance by Jim Caviezel. Great story, which apparently is more true than not, right? I heard the real talk about it. It's okay, fine. Look, I'll give you the potted review, right? Because it's really great, right? And I won't do massive spoilers. But it starts off, you're in Ecuador, some country, South American country, and this little girl is playing with a drum and singing. And this woman comes by, this very glamorous looking woman in heels, and she says that she's with a talent agency. And so they ask the father, I think they would be good as models, right? And you know what's going to happen, right? And it's showing the catalog. It all looks like. So then the guy who's like a blue collar guy takes him to the audition, puts a suit and tie on, takes him to the audition, right? And they said no parents allowed. Come back at 7:00. Right? Comes back at 7:00. Gone, vanished, right? And that's your entrance into and then the opening titles is actual security footage of all these kids just being snatched, all the play. Because it turns out this is child pornography has increased 10,000-fold over the last 5 years, apparently, right? Mm-hmm. And it's America is one of the number one consumers. There's all these kids. There's 85,000 kids that have been trafficked into America by the government who are now missing, right? It's crazy what's going on. So this gives you an insight. So what happens is part of his job is, and he was talking about this when it was the real guy on Timber, is you have to watch the child porn. It's like, oh god, and they're like, how'd you do that? He said, you throb a lot, right, you do. But like he was able to rescue a first time ever, as he was working for the Homeland Security. He was able to rescue a kid from a trafficker who we saw in a video, right? And he was able to reunite him. So it's a story of the this kid and his sister who was taken at the beginning, right? And it's just horrific. It's absolutely horrific. But it's this guy, Tim Ballard, right? He's able to finagle to go to where is it to look for the sister. And then he gets more and more involved in finding them, and they come up with this incredible sting program. It's incredibly successful, but he still has to go on this other mission to find the sister. It's fantastic, right? You are on your edgy. It is so well done.
Did you say it's based? It's not literally based on a true story, but it's sort of based on.
Okay, his like when you should watch Tim Paul from Friday, right? He had the guy on. It's fascinating.
Oh, it's a real bloke. Oh, bloody
yeah,
hell.
yeah. So yeah, at the end you see.
I mean, I've heard talk that there's now more slavery in the world than there was at the height of
slavery now than when it was legal. Right,
it's hard to.
Most of those are sex slaves, child sex slaves. It blows your mind, right? But it takes you really into that world, and it's fascinating, disgusting at the same. Like there's so much pure evil in the world, right?
Is it a theatrical film, or is it on a Netflix or an Amazon or something like that?
And that's why if I could legally buy it, I will buy this movie. It is really good. It's really strong. Right, and
he's a great actor as well, Caviezel. I've always liked him.
Because he doesn't have many lines, but he basically acts with his eyes all the way through it. And he plays a very insular person, right? But so like one of the things they missed out was he had to like quit his job with the government to continue the operation to rescue the kids, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, well, I don't know. Look, I got 5 kids at home. How are we going to pay our mortgage? And it's his wife that makes him do it, right? His wife said, "You're not going to stand in the way of my redemption," right? It's like she's this really super Christian people, right? And this guy is so humble with a real humility. It's just wonderful, right? So he said they didn't put that in the movie because that made me look more cowardly. I wish they put it in. That's sort of. He says, that happened, but it happened in a different place. Things like that. Hell. But it's all true.
What's it called again? The Sound of Freedom.
It is so good. I mean, I don't know. I would put that up with Dune. I like that's as good, and I like Dune a lot. The one that came out. I'm trying to think. What's the last? I thought that.
Yeah, the second one's due out at the end of the year, isn't it?
I am looking forward to that. And I think it's on Tuesday. There's a new there's the beginning of this 9-day period of Jewish mourning, right? So I'm always expecting something apocalyptic to happen, but now we've got this global heat wave, right? Like, what's up with that? Anyway, and I mean, so. You don't go see movies during those 9 days, but after that, I think I'm going to go and see Oppenheimer.
Robert Downey's in that, isn't he?
I don't know. I mean, look, it's got what's his name, Peaky Blinders. I like him. Cillian Murphy, and he doesn't make a tit out of himself about politics all the time. At least not that I've noticed.
I mean, Nolan does seem to be. Again, a filmmaker who's sort of above all of that, and he just makes the films that he wants to make, tells the stories that he wants to tell in his own little world, little bubble, and people get them when they're ready. And that's why he was so incensed with what they did. Was it? Oh no, it was Denis Villeneuve, wasn't it? With Dune, but I think Nolan was. Wasn't the talk about putting one of Nolan's films on HBO Max before it had been to the cinema because of the pandemic, and he did his nut?
Oh, was that? Oh, yeah. You know why? Because it was. I've got to watch that movie again. The one where the time goes backwards. Oh, what's the name of that movie?
Tenet.
Tenet, right? I've got to watch that movie again because I'm sure it'll make much more sense the second viewing. But you know, I like his. I like that he always pushes forward storytelling. Right? He always finds new ways to tell stories.
Yeah.
I was going to say, let's have a look at the Oppenheimer trailer because I really don't know anything about it.
This is a national emergency.
I mean, I guess they're making the nuclear bomb. Right?
Charge.
We're in a race against the Nazis. And I know what it means if the Nazis have a bomb.
I wonder how close. Did we know how close the Nazis got to having nukes?
Closer than I think the public were ever told.
Maybe we'll find out with this movie.
Yeah.
We have a 12-month head start.
18.
How could you possibly know that?
We've got one hope.
Good cast.
All America's industrial might and scientific innovation connected here. A secret laboratory. Keep everyone there until it's done.
Let's go recruit some scientists.
Okay, I'm in. This is kind of like a sciencey Inglourious Bastards. I'm up for it.
Yeah, it looks fantastic. Christopher Nolan is the real deal, a proper filmmaker.
Yeah. Okay, if you had a choice, Christopher Nolan directing a Star Trek movie or a James Bond movie, what would you rather?
James Bond by a country mile.
I'd rather have what directs Star Trek.
He's born to make a Bond film. He will eventually. I'm certain of it.
No, he's gone beyond that. He's. I think he's way past that now. Maybe 10 years. Like there was I was watching an Indiana Jones documentary, Raiders of the Lost Ark, and it was George Lucas talking about how it happened. He says it was on holiday with Spielberg after Jaws and Star Wars came out. They're both doing well. Right, so what do you want to do next? He says, I really want to try and get Cubby Broccoli to let me direct a James Bond movie. He said, I got something for you better than James Bond, right? I got an action hero for you, Indiana Jones. All right, he's an archaeologist. It's like a 1940s serial play. There's like a cliffhanger at the end of every reel. He said, but you got to commit to doing 3 of them. I was like, well, okay, and that's how it happened. Anyway.
Build a town, build it fast. If we don't let scientists bring their families, we'll never get the best.
Why would we go to the middle of nowhere for who knows how long?
Why? How about because this is the most important thing to ever happen in the history of the world?
You're the great improviser.
Oh, it's like Einstein.
That's Tom.
African millennia, I think.
No, that's Tom. What's his name? Tom Conti, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. Okay.
You're the great improviser, but this you can't do in your head.
Are we saying there's a chance that when we push that button, we destroy the world?
Chances are near zero.
Near zero.
What do you want from theory alone?
0 would be nice.
Okay, I had middling interest in this movie. This trailer has so got me on board, right?
Yeah,
I'm really up for this.
I'll watch anything that Nolan makes. I'll watch.
So now I really got to commit to rewatching Tenet.
And death. But I can perform this miracle.
World War II would be over. Our boys would come home.
Who's that?
Looks like Emily Blunt.
Yeah. I don't understand why the world thinks she's so incredibly gorgeous. I mean, like, she was the first choice of Black Widow over Scarlett Johansson, and that was a 2010 Scarlett Johansson, a pre-feminism Scarlett Johansson. A bouncy castle Scarlett Johansson. Glorious Scarlett Johansson. But I don't know. She's always seemed very dour to me.
I love Emily Blunt. I'm totally
there you
on
go.
board.
There you go.
Yeah.
People are different.
The world will remember this day. Our work here will ensure a peace mankind has never seen.
Yeah. Don't hold your breath for that, mate.
Until somebody builds a bigger one.
You are the man who gave them the power to destroy themselves. And the world is not prepared.
Jeremy Irons, a great guy.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3.
Truman needs to know what's next.
2.
What's next?
1.
Yeah, I'm on board for that. That looks fabulous. 5. Are you, do you have some time? We can look at some actual geeky stuff.
Yes, yeah. Go on, hit me with some geeky.
Okay, so open up this window. 1 second. Dwight L. Fifth. We'll start here. That motherfucker's not real, lady. Missing. Did you know the story?
Who's this? No,
What?
I don't know who this is.
You
I don't know who this is.
Story?
Don't think so.
Oh my god! Do I still have the video? Let me try and find it.
Who's the MILF?
How have you missed this story? This is you. Really?
No, this doesn't look anything. We need an update on her. Anyone got it? No, I've no idea who this is.
Okay. 1 second. Fine. Let me take this off. I'll have to find the video. It just got a hashtag. It's that. There you go. Hashtag TMFINR. That motherfucker is not real.
Okay.
Yeah, 1 sec. Let me find the video. God, she's in 1 million memes now. Is this trying to find the right one. Oh, man, there's too many memes of it now. I can't find the original one. Where is it? There we go. We'll just go. Is this it? No, it's too short. I might just get one of this. Oh, is okay. Here we go. Fine. So this happened on a plane. When was it? About 10 days ago, right? And then something very similar happened on a plane like 2 or 3 days later. Yeah, I'm just going to get the video. So I think, okay, so I'll give you the video to watch first. Hang on, download. How have you missed this?
I'll be honest with you. I don't spend as much time sort of plugged in as I maybe used to, and loads of stuff passes me by, particularly sort of meme culture.
You want this one? Hang on a second. Hang on. Video file. How can I find a low-res version?
I'm telling you, I'm getting the fuck off, and there's a reason why I'm getting the fuck off, and everyone can either believe it or they cannot believe it. I don't give 2 fucks, but I am telling you right now, that motherfucker back there is not real.
Okay, the Zelensky thing. The Zelensky thing was added in, right? So here's the thing: she seemed like she believed what she was saying, right? Which
what's she upset about?
So the guy next to her allegedly was a shape-shifting lizard man, and you say that and it sounds strange. Not quite. Like so, it was supposed to be there's a guy in a hoodie next to her who they got in a conversation. Some person claimed, but I think it was debunked that that she was talking and he wasn't. Like, but anyway, she was convinced that maybe he blinked this way instead of this way, right? And she was convinced there was something weird about it. Anyway, there was another guy. Yeah. So then, let me find the same thing happened like 2 or 3 days later. On plane. Let me see if I can find that on the Twits.
She did seem very convinced, and she didn't seem intoxicated either.
Exactly. Yeah. So it was.
She was genuinely scared of something.
You're right. So now nobody's found her. She's gone missing. This woman. Yeah. That's a woman. Oh yeah. Here, look, I'll show you a much better quality copy where there's more going on. But again, there was this English guy on the plane. I'm trying to find the video for you right now, who did basically the same thing happen. Here we go. 1 second. As fine. Yeah. Look at this.
An airport meltdown showdown. We have the woman on the plane who gets off saying somebody was not a real person.
That motherfucker back there is not real.
That would have made me more uncomfortable.
So there you say again. I keep doing the wrong thing. That was a better view of it, but I can't find the guy freaking out in the plane. Right? Where is it?
It's fascinating. Has she become a figure of fun, or does anybody believe this?
No, nobody knows where she is. Like the British guy on plane. Maybe this will come. Oh, is this it? Oh, here's a really bad quality copy of it. Hang on. All right, fine. I'll just grab that. So look, this feeds into the where is it? Hang on. No, I can't find the video downloader thing I'd open. Twitter video downloader. We'll just do that. Twitter video downloader. Doink. There we go. Doink. So yeah, this is eerily similar. And the video as doink. There you go. Finally got it. Again, this is a really low quality video of it.
Mate, just get it out. Hey, mate, just everyone is, come on, please. Go! Marco and Tony Barrera, it's your time!
Look at everyone filming, man. What's wrong?
I mean, I think the commentary is a bit weird, but go on. Yeah, he was saying he wants to open the door and get out.
Yo! Get him out!
Yeah, this is how our culture goes down.
Does anybody know what he was? Anybody know what he was saying?
No, same with that woman, right? It was just like, what the hell?
He was terrified.
Right. Oh, something. Right. Yeah. Let's. Okay. I put on the thumbnail. We'll look at the top 10, or well, not the top 10. The 60th anniversary poll of David Tennant, right? Not David, Christopher Eccleston. Finally, bloody hell! And then hopefully, have you seen the shots of Snow White?
Yes, I have, and I've seen their.
What the hell?
And I've seen Disney's cope, and then throwing their toys out the pram.
Like if I was an investor, I would be diving to get out for that kind of company, right?
Yeah. It's going to be a complete and utter disaster. And they're saying, "Oh, you can't print. You shouldn't have printed those pictures. They're fake. They're not the real." It turns out they are from the production. They are. It's just not it's not the actual cast. They're all stand-ins, aren't they? Or most of them are stand-ins.
Oh, I thought they were the actual cast. I didn't know.
No, it is from Disney Snow White movie, but Daily Mail are claiming that they've got no right to be printed because that's not the actual cast. Most of them are stand-ins. They're filming some pickup shots at a certain angle.
Whatever. They're going to look like that.
Of course they are.
I mean, it's like the standard, because they look like... Anyway, did you see my caption? It's a weird world where the X-rated version of Snow White is more wholesome and successful at business. And more authentic, chimes in Snow White.
Yep.
And that includes the Seven Dwarfs High Ho scene, which was very messy.
I mean, you know how I felt about the Little Mermaid thing. I mean, I thought the film looked okay, but I was aware of the cultural appropriation angle, and the people of Denmark certainly have every right to be offended by that. But this Snow White thing, how can they say that it's not Snow White? The whole beginning, the whole essence of her story is that her skin is as white as snow. It just seems lunacy.
It does seem a bit strange, doesn't it?
They're now doing a thing about King Arthur, where they've got Guinevere as a black lesbian.
Well, okay, you know what? I could go for a black Guinevere. Lesbian one is weird. By the way, I read probably the best Doctor Who comic I've read in 6 or 7 years on Saturday, on Sabbath. Oh. From Vorp Vorp. Have you read the comic?
No, I haven't read it yet.
There is one by a guy called Steve Andrew who did the art. Again, the best comic I read. It's a sequel to the Iron Legion. It's called the Iron Empire, and it stars Capaldi. It's glorious, right? And then they got John Ridgway does a Absalom Dax story as well, and he tries to get back into his old. You could see him struggling in the first couple of pages about to get back into it. I wasn't sure if it was him or if it was a clone of him, right? But man, just good Doctor Who comics, like really good Doctor Who comics. There we go. 1 second. Doink. Ninth Doctor. The first time I can say Eki Thump. Every planet has a north. That was one of the greatest lines. That just fabulous. I love that line. It was that for me kind of defined that era, right? It was this for me was Shameless meets Doctor Who, which weirdly worked. But when one of the stories scores are headed this way, which is going south. Commentary by Tom Spilsbury. Now again, they've redesigned how they do these polls to protect Jodie, because she wouldn't be in the top 100.
I've seen it's pathetic that they've had to reset everything to game it to try and give her the tiniest chance of getting something anywhere near the top 30, 40 story.
She's going to be in like the top 12. Just where'd it go? I was just reading that article and it vanished. There we go. Doink. So let's have a look. So, Empty Child Doctor Dances I think that makes sense. Is the number one. After that, Bad Wolf Parting of the Ways, Dalek. Man, these things stay pretty solid, don't they? They've always been Father's Day, Rose, Unquiet Dead. See, I'll put Rose beneath Unquiet Dead, and End of the World. And Aliens in London and World War III. I love that. That's weird.
Yeah, so I'm constantly amazed by how few people like Aliens of London. I think that's superb.
Yeah, I mean, look, granted, Empty Child Doctor Dances is fantastic. And Bad Wolf Parting Away was, I think, the first time we had a really good season finale, right? Which I think really worked. But then, what did I put after that? I mean, Father's Day was very good, even though I can't stand Paul Cornell. Father's Day is just freaking superb.
Yeah, it's beautiful stuff.
It really is. But I'll put Aliens of London, World War III after that.
I mean, I like Boomtown and The Long Game, and I would put those towards the bottom. This is such a strong season, but for me, Aliens of London is right up there.
I got it at number 4. That's the highest I can get it. I mean, would you? And then Dalek, I think, after that. Unquiet Dead after that. End of the World after that. Rose after that. Boomtown, then Long Game. There you go. And I like Boomtown.
I can see why Empty Child always gets number one, but it's and I think it's a fantastic piece of TV. But I enjoy a lot. I enjoy most of the series more than I do that.
All right. Yeah, let's have a look what they have to, how they justify themselves. I mean, this is just kind of waffle, though, isn't it? Though Chris Eccleston was the incumbent on TARDIS for only 13 weeks back in 2005. Did you ever listen to any of his Big Finish stuff?
Yeah, I did only the first 2 box sets. I liked them then, but apparently they've gone drastically down.
Oh yeah, I've dropped out. There was very good. The first 4 were purchasable and they weren't all good. It's just there was a very good Cyberman story on box set 3 and 4. Right, there's a great one from like the 1930s in box set 3 and a current day one in box set 4, which really worked well together. All the other ones put those together, and I think the Nick Briggs one, but everything else was just kind of disposable, like very forgettable. Where are we up to? Anyway, his 10 stories are regarded collectively as one of the strongest runs in any incarnation. True, I agree with you. Again, you don't have to find something nice to say like you had to. But the bullshit he came up with for Jodie was beyond compare. By the way, are you watching Star Trek: Strange New Worlds?
I am, but I'm a couple behind. So yeah,
that was horrible. I finally worked out what the my one-line review of it. It's average, like bog standard streaming service rom-com drama wearing a bad Star Trek skin. It's made for and by chicks. It's not good. It's not Star Trek at all. Anyway, but I digress. Let's get this was Doctor Who though. Where'd I go? Hang on. Doink. We're at. Sorry from the show's most prolific writer, Stephen Moffat. We'll be hearing more of him next issue, no doubt. Well, yes. If they're at the 10th and 11th Doctors, yeah, I imagine so. They're probably going to do the 10th Doctor in one go and the 11th in another and 13th. I don't know, because they got quite a long thing to do. Anyway, it now refinds a position at the top of the particular charts, having first triumphed in 2005. Season survey was also at the top. Yeah, okay, fine. We know. Being held again as an all-time classic. It is. I mean, I put that up with Pyramids of Mars, for example. I think Dr. Dance's Empty Child is Pyramids of Mars, Talons of Weng Chiang range. What do you think?
I can see why it's up there. Like I say, I'm just not as in love with it as everybody else is. I don't know why.
What would be your favorite story from the season?
From series 1, my favourite, probably Dalek.
Really?
Probably Dalek with Bad Wolf parting of the ways directly underneath it.
I mean, I did like what they did with. I mean, there was a lot good about Dalek, right? It was a great way to reintroduce the villain, right, and understand who it was. And the Doctor's relationship with it, I think, was perfect. I think that really worked well. It's funny looking back, though. It looks so cheap, right? It looks so clearly shot in that stadium they use over and over again.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, I think a lot of the series is starting to look its age now. In fact, it has been for several years. But
I was going to say, I like the. Like the whole regenerating Dalek thing and how Dalek killed people.
So do I.
Was cunning and clever. What else is good about Dalek? And I don't know, the whole Van Strand thing. I'm not sure I was on board. I don't know.
It's a tough season for me to prioritize because I love the majority of it. But Dalek would be there, and the finale. I think the Unquiet Dead recently rose quite a lot in my estimations too.
I see the Unquiet Dead. I don't know what it was like for you, but for me, it made me feel like I'm back in Doctor Who again. This is the first time it was like recognizably Doctor Who to me.
Yeah,
right. It was a bit.
And for me, the status that people put on the Empty Child. I accept it. I acknowledge it. It's not that I'm not saying it's great. For me, Aliens of London and World War III are far more alive and there's a lot
They're
more
more
to
fun.
enjoy.
It's a lot
There's
more
so much fun. Virtually every line of that thing is fantastic. I
So,
love the
you know what?
story, the villains, everything.
I think the difference is this. I think it was Dr. Dances where Eccleston worked out how to play the role. And he'd already decided to leave by then.
That's probably true.
So, and I think his performance is more comfortable. I mean, like again, if you're not a classic fan, you can't imagine the thrill of seeing, on primetime TV, a CGI Slitheen running across the 10 Downing Street, right?
When that two-parter aired, there's been people, my friends and people at the pub, people I've known for years, who had been taunting me about Doctor Who coming back. This is going to fail. It's going to fail so hard. Doesn't matter how much money they throw at that thing. It's always going to fail. Aliens of London was the and when it started, even the people who could see that it was high quality were still banging that drum. Oh yeah, well it's not that good because he's leaving, isn't it? There were people who were refusing to admit that it was good. Even the people who are watching with their children. But with Aliens of London, every single one of them came to the pub that week saying, you got me. That was so much fun. We had a brilliant time with it. I can't wait to see the second part.
There's so much great about. I mean, the Big Ben crash. I mean, that was fantastic, right? It was
iconic. And I prefer Russell T Davies as a writer to Stephen Moffat myself. I prefer the way he builds characters and the lines that he puts in their mouths. And for me, Aliens of London is pretty much the pinnacle of what he was doing.
I mean, there was a lot of clever stuff they haven't done with Doctor Who before. The coming back and being gone for a year, and Mickey being interviewed by the police all the time, right? That's a very you're really in this like very
Noel Clarke is fantastic in that in both parts of that.
Yeah, absolutely. Anyway, 1 second. For the final interview with Dalek, as you can tell from the chart, the previous page, the 18 years since the episodes were first brought. 18 years, bloody hell!
Yeah. Scary,
significant shift in there hasn't been a significant shift in fan opinion. It's pretty locked in with DVD. Yeah, because it's all why? Because this is the first era that was instantly completely accessible to everybody, right? We had to like slowly get those VHSs over the
and piece it together throughout the 1990s.
It was so exciting. I mean, I really enjoyed getting the Rescue in the Romans box set. I was like really psyched for.
Yeah, I bought them all. I bought every single one without question. I didn't pre-order them because they were widely available, but I made a note. I went and grabbed them first day of release.
Baby. I pre-ordered it already. That and Babylon 5: The Road Home, both.
I've got both of those on. I always pre-order the Blu-rays, but when it was the VHS tape, so it's just to go and pick them up. But so I've pre-ordered the Babylon 5 thing because I think I feel I owe JMS my
I think it's going to be good. I think it's going to be really exciting. I'm really looking forward to it.
I'll spend a whole evening watching that as soon as it comes. Just noticed somebody in the live chat. But Dan, do you like how Russell T Davies is currently writing for Doctor Who? I'll let you know when I see it. Soda
yeah, that's the thing. Okay, every indication is bad. Okay, every indication is dire. It might not be. That's all we got right now. Right,
it's under the microscope at the moment, and I don't like some of his choices. His casting choices are bewildering me. But as for the writing, you don't know till you watch the bloody thing. It's that simple.
I don't know. There's such a focus.
Other opinions are available, obviously.
Right, there's such a focus on trans representation. Like enough. Oh, okay. Turn the gay down, Russell. Right, turn the gay down.
I've got concerns. I would say I've got concerns about how the show is being run and promoted. But as for the writing, I'll judge that when it's on. Do the old-fashioned way.
Anyway. Meanwhile, although Long Game remains at the foot of this shortlist, it might. There's been one other intriguing position chase: Alien London's World War III, the blockbuster two-part story reintroduces Slitheen. Introduced Liam from, I'm not going to try and say it, now slips more to a low-key contemplative sequel, Boomtown. So I think the reason that is having like big event episodes isn't a big event anymore, right?
Yes, perhaps you're right, yeah.
And then people just like, so what? Right? It was the first one. right? It was the first one. It was like, I mean, listen, we had I think End of the World was kind of event, but making it a two-parter made it like much better. And you had the Olsen special effects, a very, very different Doctor Who. The Space Pig, everybody loves the Space Pig, right? Introduced the weird introduction of Torchwood a year early without knowing about it. Right? It's yeah, no, it's great. It's not the first time we've seen this turnaround. The Silurians for an initial whatever, blah 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 blah. 10th next is the 10th, 11th Doctors. They are doing both of those. Let's see what they say about the top. What are the top three? Ninth Doctor run was brief but so pivotal. Blah blah blah. The whole season has been a strong special. Okay, third place goes to Dalek. Third place. I will push it higher. I agree with you. In which writer Robert Sherman constructed a type of Dalek story influenced by X-Files and Alien. Yeah, did it feel like a Dalek story or did it feel like a contemporary sci-fi drama?
Contemporary sci-fi drama with the Dalek.
I think they feel much more like Dalek stories now, right? It's like now it's introducing this weird new alien. Yeah, it was very well done as well. And they've never been done before on TV. Choosing this method to reintroduce the Doctor Who's top build monsters was a stroke of genius. I never touched it. Making the apocalyptic adversary just one Dalek, very clever. I agree with you, right? Howdy was the nearest town, Salt Lake City, the population 60,000, all dead, right? I remember that in the trailer was awesome.
Because lines like that and the fear, the sense of threat in that stayed with children. I know I was raising children at the time and going to the playgrounds at the time and seeing them when I was taking my own kids. It captivated them all. And things like that, they watched the thing over and over again. So when the Daleks came back later in the season, and there were so many of them, the kids had remembered this.
Yeah,
the way the entire season was plotted, I wouldn't say it was genius, but it was completely right.
I would say it's genius, right? I would say this is TV
American shows have been doing that for quite a long time. Joss Whedon had been doing that on Buffy for several years, but to bring it to British television was a big deal. And for kids just under 10, any kids between the age of 6 and 10 to be swept up in it, and for it to strike that right balance, but it was scary but not horrific. It's tougher to do than people think. To be that compelling, that captivating, and to do so in such a fun way as well. It was a very special summer. That was.
Yeah, I forgot it was in the early summer. Right. Anyway, so one Dalek making every potential aspect of their design something deadly. The plunger attack is brilliantly grisly. Yes. Great use of CGI as well. Was the perfect move. It's the ideal way to reintroduce the viewers. Yes, he's basically saying what you said. That story perfectly teamed up with Sirius and Ali at number 2. So parting of the ways. Another TV drama blockbuster SF movies with unscripted entertainment. But also with unscripted entertainment shows. I forgot we had Bad Wolf. Yeah, so he does take again, this is Rusty Davies when he's good, right? He's able to look at the current world and skewer it. They see it through his point of view. But man, I'm scared of what his point of view is now. I'm scared he's bonkers.
He opened things up in a very kind of in almost a Roddenberry way, and left you to form your own conclusions. And he was doing that pretty much all the way through his original run as well. Right. And so when you go back and watch them now, it's incredible writer.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just worried this was his heyday.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair to say. I mean, Nolly was very strong, but it was nowhere near as good as a very British Scandal.
A pleasant, side thing.
Yeah,
right. Well, it didn't have the grandeur that his Doctor Who had, which it really did have. Like all the Christmas specials, they were just so big. What's the one where he's on the Titanic crashing into Earth? That's
Voyage of the Damned.
Yeah. Again, they're all such he's very good at doing this, right? So I think we can probably expect to see that. It's just we're going to see so much agenda at the same time. I wish he could get out the bubble, right? Anyway, so but he actually chewed them up. Those shows chewed them up and spat them out. When it was first broadcast, you could only smile at the audacity of the Doctor in the Big Brother house. Yes, that was brilliant, right?
See, again, that sounded awful. Just like the space pig. I was never worried about it as such, particularly when I saw the list of writers. But when they teased the space pig and the Doctor were going to the Big Brother house, I thought this is so on the nose. There's no way the show's going to pull this off, and they did. It was brilliant,
right? See, again, this is Rusty Davies when he had a perfect judge of culture, right? I just hope he still has.
The evidence is pointing to him not. I don't think he's not as on the ball as he thinks he is.
No, he's not. No, he's not. And listen,
and that's the same with most. He's a 60-year-old man. That's the same with a lot of 60-year-olds. So I'm hoping that the people that he's, like Scott Hancock, that he's working with, is a script editor there, and various other people, they're in the mix as well.
Yeah, but I think it's out of his hands, right? I think it's out. Honestly, do you see Disney Plus being intact in 2 years from now? It might not be there, all right? Well, firstly, do you know there's a new currency being introduced in August? Did I talk to you about this?
No.
Fine. So there's a new gold-backed currency for the BRICS countries. That's the alliance of Brazil, Russia, Iran, China, and South Africa, right?
Okay.
South Africa? I can't remember. Anyway, so yeah, they're kind of like the bad guys. So the reason the dollar is so powerful is because you need to buy dollars to buy oil, essentially, right? There was a that's it's called the petrodollar. It was set up by it was run by it was a thing with Saudi Arabia and OPEC. You need to buy dollars to buy oil. So you have these countries which are being sanctioned, and they're saying, "Well, screw you. We're going to start our parallel economy." And this is another place that one can buy oil. 41 countries have already signed up to it. So if this currency launches, you can expect to see the dollar being halved or quartered within a week, like instantly.
Wow.
And
I did hear something about that, but I hadn't heard about this new currency.
Right. But yeah, no, there's just no way of avoiding it, because the only strength that America has is by through the barrel of a gun at that point, which they are going to use. They called up reservists to go into active combat duty in Ukraine. I think the only way to avoid this currency launching is to massively escalate the war in Ukraine, which I think they're going to do. But either way, Disney, both you in England and me in Israel, we have a dollar-based economy. The sterling is based on the dollar, as is the shekel, right? It's you don't have the strength of one without the other. And if the dollar goes, everything goes, right? We're all living in poverty very, very quickly, which is, basically we are now. But it's going to, they've been predicting a collapse of this for about 10 years now. But anyway, it looks like it's coming. But anyway, the way to avoid it is to escalate the war in Ukraine, probably to a nuclear level.
In Britain, the governments are desperate to lock us down over a new virus that Matt Hancock, of all people, is talking about. I mean, it's just ridiculous.
What's this new virus?
I have no idea. Some bug that's killing 40% of people that it comes into contact with, or something. They are itching
for another lockdown. They love the lockdown, right?
Yeah.
How do you get a politician hard? You give them a lockdown, right? I mean, I think giving them a lockdown is a new thing they have at kinky sex clubs. That Charles is currently slamming his balls into a drawer, as we mentioned earlier. God bless the king. Anyway, let's finish this off. Where are we up to? I don't see season 15 happening the way they think it's going to be happening. I don't see season 14 happening. Maybe I don't see the specials going down like he thinks, right? I think Disney may be in a point where they have to break it up and sell off the component parts. Even the parks are empty right now. Anyway,
it's important to say that Series 14 of Doctor Who was happening whether Disney Plus got involved or not. I believe
they needed some international distributor.
That's true. But bear in mind they've got Sony on board already. It was always going to get made, and I suspect it was the case with Series 15 as well. But obviously, if Disney are affected by all of this, then it is possible that there'll be a sort of trickle down effect that could compromise Doctor Who in some way.
And also, I've said this many times. The social currents have changed, and I don't know if there is if Disney does go down, it will be because of this, right? I don't know. There's a desire for this over the top trans representation, right? That just may be economically a thing of the past, and they would reshoot the trans scenes. That could really happen.
Well, I think that David Tennant's recent choice of apparel, shall we say, for the purposes of YouTube, I believe that he's done serious damage to the 60th anniversary episodes internationally by wearing that shirt.
Yes, he has.
It's his choice. Obviously, he can wear what he wants, but that was very foolish.
Schmuck, right? He was a schmuck. This is a very, very divisive issue. And the thing is, though, the people who are very supportive of the trans community don't really understand the issue, right? And they think they do. Here's what I worked out, by the way. You know that how do you manipulate and control educated, intelligent women, right? If you tinge a story by saying there's some kind of female control going, female suppression going on.
Yes, subjugation of some sort.
Subjugation. They will I had this one of my feminist friends were around the other day, and we just got onto the subject, right? And it was amazing to me because the trans way of worldview is so unbelievably hostile to women and misogynistic. It's just it treats being a woman as if you can dress up and it's like saying if I do blackface, I'm a black person. No, I think that it's and I think. But you're so easily to be manipulated if you press the right buttons.
It's a curious thing, isn't it? You cannot fail to notice it, and yet we're told that it's not there, or that we're bad people for noticing it. When they're the ones that are shouting it. There's lots of people. I mean, this isn't everybody of that community by any stretch of the imagination.
No,
but a significant proportion of people who belong to who live that life are continually shouting these things and physically assaulting women. There's no way of getting around that. Sometimes this is how I end up being blocked by Ben Cook, which I'm very happy about. He was ranting about people not accepting trans women, and he said some women didn't want trans women in the changing room or something, and he said why? I said well, some women don't want to change in a space with people with penises, be they female or not. He lost his shit, right? He just lost. He went he couldn't stand it. But because he knew you were right.
Right, that's the problem, and that's why I think we have so much need for validation. Anyway, let me say what I was just talking about this. David's remarkably facility for juggling styles. That's also true. And tones comes to the fore in the parting of ways. The story takes a left turn out of all-out war and a strange epic love story. These episodes do a lot, and they do it all superbly. I forgot about the jarring. Suddenly Rosa's eating chips, and they're using a forklift, like a truck, to get the TARDIS open.
It's brilliant.
Very power state. Yeah, I like that a lot. Okay, and now you would disagree, but seriously, how did you manage to choose between that and The Empty Child and Dr. Dancers? Well, they did. He did. And Stephen Moffat's Blitz set horror, I think the historical setting also made this made it feel like Doctor Who, but new Doctor Who, because we hadn't had a historical setting of World War II before.
It's very, very popular with classic Doctor Who fans, more so than the rest of the series. And because it's very fondly remembered by people who came in with the new series too and may have seen it when they were very, very young, and it became very memetic. Are You My Mummy was a meme, I think, before there were memes.
Yeah.
So,
It was everybody knew it, and because it worked so well, it was very chilling.
People still say, "Are you my mummy?" They still put that on T-shirts. You know, I can't deny the significance of those two episodes. They're just not as much to my taste. That doesn't mean to say I think they're bad at all. I'd never skip them. I always get something out of watching them again. But I just prefer several other episodes of the season. Other opinions are available.
The story puts on a swagger and achieves exactly what it's aiming for. There's so much enduring imagery here, from the gas mask transformation scene, very good, a genuine shock on the first viewing. And you expect the master to conceal a monster, not be the monster. Very good point. And Stephen Moffat thought he was doing it on the cheap, but apparently they had to make all those masks. The Captain Jack sitting astride a bomb, B-52. That was good at the end, like Dr. Strangelove. Just once, everybody lives rules. Everybody that is true. It becomes a cornerstone moment for the character. Completely agree. Strong, hardcore agree. Fine. So there's much I didn't get to. I guess on Tuesday I will do Star Trek: Strange New Worlds. It's shit. Okay. It's shit. If you like Star Trek, it's shit. Right. That's all I can. It's shit. If you like average rom-com dramas that are on Netflix, the Star Trek skin. That's what it is.
As long as they get to Pring back for at least 2 episodes, I'll be fine.
No,
gorgeous.
they totally wasted it in this episode. Completely wasted. You don't want to know.
Oh.
It's so bad. It's so annoying, right? And the T'Pring's box stuff was fantastic last year, especially when you had he had all the angst and you have the Vulcan music, right? Now it failed completely. It's because it's not about Star Trek. It's about, when you watch it, you'll agree with me completely. It's a rom-com. It's a rom-com with a dramatic edge. We're wearing a Star Trek skin.
I was very disappointed by the courtroom episode in week 2. Considering that Rebecca Roman can do that stuff, and I thought the cast were really good, but it was so political. It was far too on the nose.
It was so on the nose. Here, one second. Do I have a?
You know what Clobby always says, this isn't Star Trek, and he's very, very angry about it. But in the case of that episode, he was absolutely right. It wasn't Star Trek. It didn't have that balance. It wasn't high-minded enough. It was just politics. It was ideology.
But very obviously, I'm trying to find. I don't think I had a clip from Monty Python and the Holy Grail. If he persuades the saber as a duck, then that's exactly what I felt that was like. Okay, for 1 sec. So this is no massive spoiler. This is in the log line for the episode.
Okay.
Right? You have Spock has his Vulcan DNA taken out, right? Just as it's like a French fast, just as he needs to do something like with the T'Pring and his evil and her evil bitchy mother. Right now, do you remember them always saying that Vulcan emotions were far stronger than human emotions?
Yeah.
Yeah, not anymore. So here, this is on social media, not spoiling anything.
Smoky and salty and sweet and soft and crispy all at the same time. I must have more. Why do I feel nauseated?
Oh God! Why do I feel nauseated?
And that was put up on their official social media.
Yeah.
Fucking hell!
It's so shit, right? So deeply shit, right? I had the idea earlier. I was leaving that message for Keith that Keith would be great as Dan Dare. I'd love to see Keith as Dan, as an older, more grizzled Dan Dare. He'll be good as Dan. He's got that nice chin. Right, he's got the right pointy chin. He can slick his hair back. Yeah. I think he'll be. If I can get a green screen and a Dan Dare costume, I think would have.
Keith's got a ferociously good head of hair. It's ridiculous.
He does, an embarrassingly good head of hair. Anyway, was that real? Yes, PD Rich, that was real. Right, that was an advert. That actually was from.
That's supposed to make you want to watch it.
Yeah. It's that bad, right? Absolutely. Yeah, no, it really is genuinely that bad.
I appreciate that times change, but bloody hell, that was a bit much. Okay, well, thanks for having me on again.
It just wasn't Doctor Who in any way. I mean, not Doctor. It wasn't Star Trek in any way.
No,
it's badly
too
bad.
much.
Anyway, with that said, you're back on when you
back on Tuesday, everybody, for Type 40, a Doctor Who podcast, episode 132, I think it is. 133.
So that's going to be your first one with Stephen Noonan?
That's the one. Yeah, I nearly told you what the review was going to be, but it'll be up on the social medias probably tomorrow, something like that, and you'll get to see it.
Are you doing it as a premiere?
It'll be up as a premiere. Yes, obviously it won't be live.
I'll totally be in the chat for that. I'm really excited about it. Right? I'm
going
to be streaming on Tuesday. I'm starting at 5. I'll be off. Probably by about 7, and then you can go get something to eat, and we can watch it together. I'm really excited. I don't know how you landed in, but well done. It's a perfect addition to the channel, if I may say so. I'd like to see him on the live show. I'll keep my mouth shut for the time being.
Somebody, it's just not. I mean, it's like you get talking to any Doctor Who fan, and it can be a revelation. And anybody who's got a take on something, but Stephen is not only very knowledgeable but very passionate and a very, very funny man as well.
I told them more than once on their YouTube channel, have Stephen talk about First Doctor stories. It will sell discs. It's that bloody simple. It will sell those discs. I don't know. Big Finish just seems to be like they don't give a shit.
They need to put you on retainer, my friend. Anyway, thanks for having me on. I'll speak to you again in a couple of days. And good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody. I'm going to hit the end broadcast button.